Soft drum beats echo through the village as the golden sun sets behind the towering baobab trees. The evening air is alive with the scent of roasted maize and the distant laughter of children. In this village, among the rhythm of tradition and the weight of duty, a forbidden love is born. Zuba was not like the other girls in the village. She was the daughter of the healer, gifted with hands that knew the language of the earth. Her spirit was wild, untamed like the river that ran through Nyumbani. She never imagined that the chief's son, Kwame, would look at her the way he did that day by the river. Kwame was the village's future leader, raised to be strong, to put duty before desire. But when he saw Zuba, something inside him stirred, something he had no power to control. "You shouldn't be here," Zuba whispered, looking around nervously. "And yet I cannot seem to stay away," Kwame admitted, his voice gentle, his eyes lingering on her. From that moment, their hearts belonged to each other. But in their world, love was not so simple. They met under the cover of darkness, where only the moon and the spirits of the trees bore witness to their stolen moments. In the forest, away from the watchful eyes of the village, Kwame held Zuba close. "If they find out," she whispered, fear creeping into her voice. "Then let them," Kwame said, tilting her chin up to meet his gaze. "I would face the wrath of the elders, the anger of my father, if it means I can love you openly. But the world does not favor the reckless dreams of lovers. Whispers travel like wind, and not all hearts are kind. One jealous soul, embittered by the love she could never have, carried their secret to the chief. The night was still when Kwame was dragged before his father. The flames of the great fire danced in the chief's furious eyes. "You dishonor your family, your ancestors, and this village," his father roared. "You are promised to another. You will marry her, and this foolishness will end." Zuba was cast out, her name whispered in anger and shame. And Kwame? Kwame was forced into a fate he never chose. The village drums beat in celebration, but Kwame felt only silence inside him. He stood beside the woman his father had chosen, a fierce warrior's daughter, proud and strong. Yet, as she smiled, his heart remained locked away. With Zuba. In the shadows of the trees, unseen by all, Zuba watched. Tears blurred her vision as she clutched the pendant Kwame had given her, the only piece of him she had left. "This is not the end," she whispered, her hands trembling. "It cannot be." When all hope seemed lost, Zuba sought wisdom from the village elders, from the spirits that lived in the wind and whispered through the fire. An old woman, her eyes cloudy with time but sharp with wisdom, took Zuba's hands in her own. "True love does not bow," she said. "It does not shatter. It bends, it fights, and when the storm is over, it remains." Zuba knew then. She would not surrender. The night was dark when Kwame heard the rustling outside his hut. He turned, and there she was. "Come with me," Zuba pleaded. Kwame hesitated for only a moment before taking her hand. They ran, through the tall grass, through the thick jungle, guided only by their love and the silent blessing of the spirits. Behind them, voices rose in anger, torches flickering in pursuit. But the further they ran, the freer they felt. No more chains, no more duty, only love. Days passed before the village found them again, but when they did, something had shifted. The elders, the warriors, even the chief himself, saw the truth. Love had not destroyed them. Love had made them whole. The chief, once rigid in his ways, now saw what the ancestors had always known. A heart that loves truly is more powerful than any tradition. And so, the village sang a new song. A song of love that defied, a love that endured, a love that won. As the drums fade into the distance, the story ends, not in sorrow, but in the warm embrace of dawn, a new beginning where love is no longer whispered in the shadows but sung beneath the open sky for all to hear.